Hey, CK.
How's it going?
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I am good.
Did I steal you from office hours today?
Yes, yeah. Actually, hold on. Let me fix my camera here. Hold on a second. I'm gonna move this. Take this. Sorry, I'm trying to move myself so that I don't have that like the light from my room in here.
Totally. All good. Yeah, Spencer messaged me and he's like, "You're taking my students away." And I was like, "I'm sorry. I just need a few minutes."
I got caught up yesterday and I couldn't make it.
All
Sorry.
good. No, you're totally fine. I won't take too much of your time, but I appreciate you giving me some. I am trying to talk more one-on-one in these recorded interviews with ScaleBoom students because, as you know, ScaleBoom is still really new and we're working on some of the storytelling for what your guys' experience is like and how it is working with Spencer and the impacts that it's had. And then also if you have any like comments or feedback or things that you want me to know where you think there could be some improvements, there'll also be an opportunity for that. So if you're okay with it, I'm just going to start by asking you some questions that I have. And then if we're missing anything at the end, we can fill it in there.
Yeah.
So obviously I don't always have this case, but I know a lot about your product and your story. So we can skip that introduction part. And I would love to just hear kind of the part where you found LaunchBoom and sort of what made you make the ultimate decision to join.
So LaunchBoom, like back in the day, Kickstarter LaunchBoom.
You can start there since you started in Accelerator.
Yeah, I started in the accelerator. So I had done my first campaign. Well, it was the same Swingly campaign. And I'm like, oh, I've been developing products and brands for 20 years. I got this in the bag. I have like so much marketing experience, whatever. I'm launching this Kickstarter. Yeah, no, that was like a total game changer. And it was actually somebody, I think I had signed up with like one of like back, whatever the software companies that like back that inventories your Kickstarter I forget what it was called, but whatever, it was BackerKit or something like that. And somebody from BackerKit was like, hey, by the way, like we don't think you're going to make your goal. And this is like day 3. And I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, you're not going to make your goal. Like you just don't have the momentum. You know, you should take a look at your campaign. But when you do, there's this company out there called LaunchBoom. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then sure enough, I had to stop my campaign because they were right. That was not going anywhere. So I looked into LaunchBoom and then I talked to one of your guys. It was not one of the guys we know now. I can't remember his name. And he basically just started chatting to me about the program. And I'm like, I've done these programs before. But then what hooked me was he said something about office hours. I was like, office hours? What is that? He's like, yeah, you get one-on-one, not one-on-one time, but you get like a live person every week. Back then it was once a week. And then Joe turned into like 3 times a week, where you can come and like, it wasn't just this self-paced course that we had to do anyway, but it wasn't like you were going to be talking to a robot or an email. It was a live coach person. And then the office hours just had such like the array of people in there too. Like you could have been like behind and help somebody, or they could have been sort of ahead of you. You could learn so much from them. And then the board then was on Facebook, but then when they turned it over to like I was gone by then when they turned it into like it was something else you guys were using, but the community was also very helpful, like in sharing just stuff between ourselves. And then of course I did LaunchBoom, had a successful campaign after that. I learned all the ins and outs. And then I chatted with Joe about ScaleBoom. And then of course he piqued my interest again about the same sort of a similar model, but then it was taking people from Kickstarter to sort of scaling your business. Because I talk so much to other people in a similar boat. Kickstarter is awesome and you have this momentum, but then there's this middle place where you're not big enough to invest the hundreds of thousands in advertising, but you're ready to scale. You're ready to move out of that limbo of Kickstarter in e-com. And when he mentioned that, I was pretty hooked on it.
That's super helpful. Sorry, I'm looking over here because I'm taking some notes while you're
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, that's a great synopsis. So now where we landed in that story, or where we are now, is you're in ScaleBoom, right? So I would love to hear sort of, I mean, obviously you have a special perspective because you had kind of already done the system itself, or like the structure is similar in Accelerator. But when it comes to kind of joining the office hours with Spencer, or, you know, being on school in ScaleBoom, what is that experience like? What do you like about it? What are you learning from it? Kind of ScaleBoom specific.
I mean, there's so much, right? I mean, we left, and I had told Joe this before. I think I was like, I've been an entrepreneur, like cohorts, particularly like women ones, and a lot of them have entrepreneurs are sort of starting out, and that's a lot what is out there right now to support entrepreneurs, and you have to have a community. But like, I kind of had grown out of that community of like, hoorah, rah, like pat in the back, let's do it. I was ready to like I needed somebody to tell me what was up. Like, your website sucks. Like, it's not working. That's why it's not converting. Like, I just kept going to all these people. Like, I'm driving traffic. People love my product, but there's no conversion. And they're like, oh, well, you know, you have to invest more. I'm like, no, there's something wrong. But as soon as I went into LaunchBoom, they were literally like, your website is cute, but it needs a lot of work. So, I mean, right there and there, I just knew that. And it's honestly, it is really, really good mentoring and coaching. Like, they're not going to sugarcoat it. And that's, and also, so that was one thing, right? That we needed that third eye perspective, because you live in your own world and you can just get stuck in it. But you can't rely on family and friends, because they're just going to tell you what you want to hear, right? And I didn't have hundreds and thousands of dollars to hire an agency. I mean, I've lived the agency world. We've hired agents, and I just was not in that place. But I needed someone to walk with me, like, that was going to be honest and have the track record well, I mean, you guys showed me a bunch of track record that you had with all the other clients you've dealt with. But then to the next level was just being in a group of entrepreneurs that were at the same level or better than me. Like, my father always told me, like, you always hang out with people that are better than you, because if you don't, you're not improving yourself. You can never be the smartest person in the room, because that means you're not learning from anyone. So being able to be in this cohort with other entrepreneurs are in the same sort of limbo that I was, and also more successful entrepreneurs that have done different paths and can bring that experience, I think was super valuable. And it's still such a valuable piece in ScaleBoom. Well, and then obviously getting to talk to somebody live all the time and just nitty-grittying everything from like, my Klaviyo isn't working, like the setup, all the way to like strategic conversations. Like the range of topics is great, because that's sort of how LaunchBoom Accelerator worked, and you could bring the same energy to this group.
Amazing. That was super helpful. I really appreciate that perspective. And I feel like it's something that obviously we know is happening in ScaleBoom, but just so new. We haven't had to have a lot of these conversations. So it's super great to hear. I would love to hear if there's any, whether it's 1, 2 benefits that you've seen to Swingly since joining ScaleBoom that feel big or tangible or special for you.
Oh my gosh. I mean, like, I think we started ScaleBoom in October, and I was like feeling I was already late to the Q4 game. So our goal, I think my goal for Q4, like very rudimentary, was like, I just need to do like 20 grand just to make sure, like, this is our first holiday. We ended up doing closer to, no, we did 30 grand. I can't do the percentages, but I remember just our average order value went from like 70 something to over $100. Our conversion rate was from like 0.0705 to almost, at times it was 1.5, almost 1.8%. I mean, that was like a huge jump. Obviously it fluctuates, but really taking our revenue from some months being 0, 1,000, a couple hundred, to now 30 grand, which we really did from it was the second week in November to December 31st. So that was really just, again, fixing the website, because traffic was going, but not converting. And so just that, the first lesson of, hey, get your website right to convert, was super valuable for us. And then running these ads and coming up with different targets that I hadn't, audiences that we hadn't heard before. So I know Spencer is going to take the full credit of kids entertainment audience that we created for Swingly. But I mean, just helpful things like that, workshopping, even just workshopping things in the class was just great. So
amazing.
I think Spence has all my stats, so we can requote me on those exact things.
Yes, I'm sure he does. He's always really excited to tell me about swing.
Yeah.
Like, this is what's going on. No, I like to pick on him, but he deserves it. Anything that you feel, let's see, I lost my place here. Anything like you're excited about coming up with ScaleBoom? I know you're off to like an amazing start. Is there any like big goals you have or things you're excited to accomplish, or like what's coming up next?
Yeah, I mean, like I was just talking to Spencer about, a lot of the curriculum is around ads, right? And of course we have to spend and we have to scale and we have to perfect them. And I'm definitely on board. I'm doing that. And a lot of my time is spent there as well. But I also was talking to Spence about just coming up with like expanding past ads to diversify the spend. So I'm kind of like starting to dip my feet into it, like an influencer network, and it doesn't work for everyone. And I know influencers are kind of like dying out and people can tell they're fake, but for a mom network, our audience, like a lot of moms and parents rely on recommendations for things that they find and buy.
For sure.
So I've been very picky with it. I did find like a company that will help us that way, but really being able to now develop, like, is there an influencer marketing, like a way to kind of generate revenue that way, like explore, is there Google ads? I don't want to continue to put all my eggs in that Facebook ad like bucket. I am excited to start kind of poking my hand at some other things and testing other things.
Yeah.
But I like the method of what Spence teaches. Like, let's get everything right. Like, I think Facebook is now becoming more automated for Swingly, that we're ready to start sort of poking around at other things and perfecting those and moving on. But automating my business and processing it this year is something I'm excited about, because last year was a lot of test and learn. First year, like, let's test this, doesn't work, test that. But now that we are having like more proven processes, like areas where we want to invest, and making it like becoming a well-oiled machine is what I'm looking forward to this year.
Amazing. I know you're going to too. I'm excited.
It's working.
It's going to happen. Anything else that feels important for me to know, whether that's things you like, things you have feedback on, things you would like to see? Obviously love Spencer, but this is open space for anything you want to share to help your experience, to help other people's experience. Yeah,
honestly, it's been really great. I mean, we're still in the infancy of the program, but I do see, like, as the program gets bigger, we have so many more friends that have joined us, like how it will, if it will still feel like as small as it is. And a lot of it is on us, right, to post like the mastermind and the things in there. But, it's also finding that cohort, that the people that participate in it be able to have also active participants.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know obviously, like, we want to expand the program as much as possible, but how do we still maintain that like small group feel where people are actively participating and we feel like still kind of like small group feel, you know what I mean? Like,
totally.
but I know it's hard to get people to participate, and I know that's kind of all it just depends on the person. Like, I totally agree.
Yeah. And I think that is, I know for sure that is also the same page that Spencer is on. I think he cares a lot about that small group feel and making sure that like you guys all feel supported and managed. It's something that's come up for him and that he advocates for. So I'm hopeful that as it grows, that's going to be something that he pays attention to as well. So I think you're super heard in that regard.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's the best part. Not that we want to hoard Spencer to ourselves or anything, but it is also like the energy, it depends on the call who happens to be there or not. The energy is there, and whether people want to put in topics or not. And so I think that's part of just growing pains, but that's just one like watch out that I would just raise my hand on. But
totally. And I appreciate like hearing that from you, because I think it's it's one thing Spencer can be like, hey, I think this is the feeling, but having that
Yeah.
like conversation where we know for sure that is something you guys care about is really helpful. Anything else that you feel like I didn't capture that feels important about the experience of ScaleBoom?
No, I mean, like I said, it's been a really, really great experience. I know that we've talked a lot too about like bringing other guest speakers in and stuff, and kind of like being able to find resources. That's always super helpful. But so far, I mean, we're still in the infancy of it, but I know that you guys are really open to receiving feedback, so we appreciate that, and we feel supported for sure. I mean, the one thing the thing that was helpful to was the spreadsheet, like the P&L that
Yeah.
Spencer created for us. I mean, all those resource tools. I mean, anytime we ask Spencer for anything, he usually delivers, so that's pretty nice. But one thing that I still am very interested in doing, and I know Mark had mentioned that in one of our calls, was like doing like these brand audits for us.
Yeah.
Like kind of going through like our businesses, like seeing from their perspective where opportunities lie. So I know that there's so many of us, but I thought that was like that would be great input to have, like a complete unbiased like audit.
Yeah, I think that's great. And, one of my goals in these conversations is to take this feedback to the team and be like, hey, here are some things we can act upon and deliver upon. And I think that's a great kind of tangible one to bring up. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I owe you a coffee, so I'm going to send that to your email right now.
Oh, don't worry. Yeah. Thank you though.
I know that it's one, it's in the middle of office hours, and two, it's a lot to get on these things in general. So I appreciate it. So I'm going to send that to you right now. And then the other thing I wanted to let you know is you're going to get a notification from Trustpilot. You've not done a Trustpilot review for us before, have you?
I don't think so. No.
I took notes while you're talking because I know it's a lot to ask you to come on here and then a lot to ask you to go write some things. So I'm going to send you the notes from our conversation on things you said so that you don't have to rewrite. But if you're able to throw that in Trustpilot, that would be super helpful to me and super helpful to Spencer, just because that's a third-party website. So people go to it to see what's going on, what the program's like. Yeah. And we got to tell people about ScaleBoom more because we haven't yet. So that would be amazing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Let me know. You can send it to me and I'll publish it or review it or whatever.
Perfect. I'll send you the email with the notes, and then you'll get an email from Trustpilot to click through for the review. And then also an email from our friends at Starbucks as a thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Amazing. Thanks, Melissa. I'll let you get back to it.
Thanks so much. All right. Bye, CK. Bye.